Good afternoon, everybody. Today we're going to discuss Mama's kitchen table. This is a personal story for me, so I hope I can get through it without crying. But if I do, y'all please just bear with me. But I remember as a child that I did not receive many whoopings, or some people would say spankings, when I did wrong. Maybe 2 is all that I can remember. As with all children, mothers know that each child is different, so therefore they have to be disciplined in separate ways. Well, my mom always set me at the kitchen table and talked with me about whatever was going on at that time. I would have rather been beaten than to have to face Mama Sarah at that kitchen table when she would sit me down, and I'd be in tears before she ever got started because I knew that I had disappointed her. And for me, I was so ashamed. Today, I still feel the same way. I never want to disappoint my mother if I can help it. So the reason I'm discussing this subject today is because I feel the same way about disappointing God. He talks to me just like my mother did at that kitchen table, and I've been crying because I've disappointed God and I got put in my place this morning. I didn't listen to him over something that I thought was very minor, but he showed me that every little detail, no matter how big or small that we think it is, matters to him. So we have to listen to him at all times and be obedient. And so we're going to move to Proverbs 31 and 26. It says, "She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and her tongue is the law of kindness." And so Mama Sarah has much wisdom, and her tongue, which is words, are the law. She was always so kind during my lectures at that table, but I knew the law was being laid out in front of me. So I'm now reflecting back on that was God flowing through Mama at that table. So moving to Proverbs 6 and 20, it says, "My son, keep thy father's commandment and forsake not the law of thy mother." And so father's commandment, well, growing up, my dad was not present in my life very much. He is now, and I'm very grateful for that, but back then he wasn't. All we had was our mother and her parents. I was raised by her mother, Estelle, while Mama worked to support us. So my father was God flowing through both my mother and grandmother. And both of these women laid the law of foundations for me in the absence of my dad. And I'm very grateful for that. I was talking to Mom about that the other day. It was one of the best upbringings anybody could ask for. Very thankful for it. Proverbs 1 and 8, it says, "My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother." And so we have to hear the instructions of thy father, which is God, and do not forsake the law of thy mother, which is Mama Sarah at the kitchen table. So when I was disciplined, which is a set of rules to follow, were given, then I had to maintain self-control, consistency, and follow those rules according to her, and now as an adult, the rules laid out by God. We're going to read verse 9 in Proverbs still. "For they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head, and chains about thy neck." So talking about these laws. So the ornament of grace, we are rewarded for following the rules. Life is easier and more organized, and in the end times we're going to, get to be raptured up. Chains about thy neck represents jewelry, which is an honor if you follow the laws. Some people think this as a metaphor for actual chains being slavery for following the rules, and they want to break these chains and be free to do as they choose. Now, who would these people be, y'all? Ask yourself. It's going to be the sinners and the repeat sinners. They think that they can just, do what they want to do and not follow the rules. So what I'm saying with all of this information is that we have to be obedient and follow the laws that God has provided us in the Bible, which is the book of knowledge. So mothers Sit your children down and talk with them and make them face the consequences of their actions. My Mama Sarah is the best mother ever, and I'm so blessed that she laid that rock foundation for me to stand upon, because if she had just ignored her calling, then I'd be on that sand foundation and could not stand up. Throughout my life, she has been my rock, and it's because she has the wisdom to do so and taught me at Mama's kitchen table. To Mama Sarah, I love you and all the support that you give me daily. To know Mama Sarah is to love her, and I know that God loves her dearly because she has raised me according to his laws and because she disciplined me in the kindest ways possible. I will never forget what is right from wrong. She built that everlasting foundation for me to stand on. Please do the same for your children. I'm working on mine, but I have a lot of work to do with God's guidance. I pray to help them as my mother did with me. And so moving on to Matthew 7:24 through 27. It says, Therefore whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. So my mother's house was built on a rock, y'all. And every one that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man which built his house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. And that's why I'm working on mine, because I wasn't as strong as Mama and didn't quite build mine the right way. So I'm on sand and trying to rebuild it as an elder, and it's not going as well. So just to say, wise men build on rocks. Mama Sarah built it real strong for me. And foolish men build on sand, and during that time I had backslid and didn't do my family correctly. So how will you raise your children? That's something that you've got to ask yourself. And this is my note. I pray that all of you sit at that kitchen table and have a discussion with God about what is currently going on and get that rock foundation underneath you for the times that are coming. And that's what I'm doing as well. We will need all the strength that we can get from him, no matter how small we might think the issue is. God is our foundation and strength, so let him talk with you at Mama's kitchen table. Again, like I said, this was very personal to me, but a really good message. And so I hope that y'all enjoyed it, and have a God bless day.